Anambra State Governor Charles Soludo said he empathizes and commiserates with President Tinubu's economic team as the administration has inherited an economy that could be compared to a dead horse but standing. Talk us through what Governor Soludo means in this regard, BKO.
Oh, it's very clear, and what we are just discussing now is related to the previous topic. A country spending 96% of its earnings to service debt. How do you describe such a country? A country that has a 1.7 million uh, barrels a day production quota from OPEC, but struggling to produce 1 million, just 1 million barrels a day, with a shorting of not less than 700,000 barrels a day. How do you describe such a country? Of all the countries who are part of the OPEC oil cartel, there is no one that is going through the nonsense that Nigeria is going through at this time. Angola has overtaken us as Africa's #1 oil producer. War-torn Libya has also overtaken us as Africa's as second biggest oil producer. Yet we are not at war. But a lot of oil theft is going on in our country. Some IOCs, international oil companies, have even left our country because the situation is not palatable for them to continue to do business here. That is why in a season when other countries are making money as a result of Russia's senseless war in Ukraine, Nigeria, despite being an oil major, is unable to make money. It's such a terrible thing. And we continue to spend trillions of naira on subsidy, making us broke as a country. It got so bad that we borrowed so much money to the point that recently even China told us that, look, we won't like to borrow you any money at this time. So we had reached that point that we could not pay our bills. We could not pay salaries. We had to resort to ways and means, despite the World Bank warning that the CBN should not be compelled to be simply printing money and loaning money to the federal government by way of ways and means. We could not pay our bills. That is how you know a country that is solvent. We had become insolvent as a nation. So once you see an economy that is going through such a phase, you know that it is an economy that is struggling, because there's huge infrastructure deficit, but we can't find the money. Why did we find it so much to raise money? Even from oil sales, the bulk of the money that we make from oil sales goes to servicing debt, goes to paying for subsidy. So Soludo praised President Tinubu for his courage in floating the naira, as well as removing subsidy, because by not subsidizing the foreign exchange market the way we were doing before, they've been able to save some money. They've been able to save billions of dollars. I don't know exactly how much they've saved. But in the past, we consistently defended the Naira, dipping into our foreign reserves to try and shore up supply of the dollar so that we can manage that volatility to a large extent. And when you do that, it is expensive business defending your currency in the way that we did. Because look, if in the parallel market, it is Naira exchanges to the dollar at 760 Naira to a dollar, and you had the official market where the Naira exchanged to the dollar at 430, 460. It means anybody who understands a little bit of economics will know that that is not real. That exchange rate is not real. And that we are simply throwing money at the problem. So Bola Tinubu came and felt, look, this is why we are broke. This is why we cannot pay our bills. This is why states are not getting enough money from the distributable revenue from FAC. And a lot of them can't pay salaries. A lot of them are owing worker salaries and all that. He decided that, look, he needed to do something about it because we were approaching a fiscal cliff. And we were simply marking time. If we had continued along that line, spending the bulk of our earnings from oil to service debt and to pay for subsidy, we would have been in trouble. By now, we would have been in very serious trouble because we are approaching the dead end and something had to give. Just as he said, it's a very painful choice that the president has made. And according to him, yes, subsidy is an objectionable scam, but continuing with it will have brought Nigeria down. He is not sure when we'll come out of these pains that we are going through. But as far as Soludo is concerned, the president did the right thing by removing subsidy and floating the Naira that he has done. So that's why he said, he described the economy that the president inherited as a dead horse standing.
That's right.
The Nigerian economy was approaching an inevitable death before the new government came in and took some very drastic steps. Those steps are painful, but I believe that Nigeria's recovery will happen. Things will get better in the next few months. Some have predicted that before the end of the first quarter of next year, that the economy will begin to experience a rebound. That is what we pray to see.